Chilly, windy evening. Gets dark in less than an hour. Just my style. You guys already know this barn if you saw the Cadillac Eldorado video. Don't know the sequence of these, but I just bought this Ford tractor. It looks all complete, minus missing the front end and radiator. Apparently somebody that they know that was staying around here, I'm not sure, but they think that he stole the radiator off it to scrap it. So that's a shame, but I'm sure we can get something for it. It is a diesel. That's pretty sweet. 3-cylinder diesel. I see the mechanical injection pump down on the side there. I don't know what model this is, but I can tell you that when it was parked, somebody put brand spanking new tires on there. Look at that. Multi-track 2100. So whatever the date ends up being on these, I'll look for that here at some point. That's about how long it's been sitting, because the sticker's still on there, you know. So let's give you a quick spin around tour on it. Got the 3-point missing one of the bushings, so that needs probably new end welded on. These get real sloppy and then start falling out. Well, actually, never mind. This one's got a clip that holds it in. Okay, because my Kubota, there's nothing but the press fit in there. But these, I guess not. So just get a new ball end. And the rear PTO shaft, I guess it has a little cover they can get pop off, or like a brush hog. Yeah, I'm not familiar with these at all. That rear differential, super beefy, heavy duty. No idea what this thing weighs either, but it's short. It's fine for the trailer. This has got, I don't know if you can see, 2,800 hours on it. Not bad at all. And the tachometer's like tripping me up on here because it spins the opposite way. It almost looks like it's upside down, right? There's our shift pattern. This is I guess a drawbar, right? Nice it was stored indoors. So the plan today is to I think I'll be able to drag it over on an angle here. I mean, it might be tough actually, but can't get to it from this side because there's like a deep culvert that a few feet deep, so we'd have to put a little bridge. They'd prefer that I come this way because otherwise I have to move a bunch of cars. I want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, Mando. A product I absolutely love because it keeps me smelling fresh all day long and then some. Oh yeah. Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's a high-performance, whole-body deodorant that you can apply everywhere, such as pits, packages, feet, and more. Mando is clinically proven to control odor better than a soapy shower alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle odor level is a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average Grundle odor level is 0 out of 10. You can choose from 4 different scents: bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, or go unscented. Their Mount Fuji scent is my go-to, and it smells superb. They got a stick, spray, cream, but I prefer the stick. It goes on smooth and doesn't show on my skin. Mando doesn't stain your clothes, and they have a wide range of aluminum-free products available. Mando's starter pack bundle is a great deal for new customers. It comes with a full stick of deodorant, a cream deodorant tube or a spray deodorant, 2 free products like the wipes or a mini body wash, free USA shipping. For my viewers, Mando is offering an extra $5 off when you order through the link down below in the description and use code NNKH at checkout. That's a deal of over 40% off. Now let's get back to the video. So let's go ahead and air these up and get it rolling. Yeah, come up with some better organization in here. Just kind of have everything crammed, so whenever you want to get one tool out, you know, you gotta pull like 5 things out kind of throughout the whole box. I would say the dually utility bodies are much better for getting your stuff organized. These just, they're not deep enough for that, but having the single wheel, it's just so much more capable of getting places. Single wheel for the win. Looks good. This other side doesn't have a stem on the outside. It's on the inside, which makes sense. In case you go into the woods, don't want to get broken off on a tree or something. It does have a protector around it. So you can see somebody kept the wheel bearings and or kingpin greased up. And grease zerk right there. Nice, good sign to see oil coming out of the bottom. Rear tires seem to have enough air, not that it would really matter with this size. And I did find the DOT 0303, so made the 3rd week of 2003. That would make this sitting about 20 years or so. Could have been started in between, who knows. You can run a shaft off the front of this crank pulley too. I see it's splined. It goes through there. I guess, yeah, well, you could use a starter on it too, right? I do see a mouse nest up in here. Hopefully it didn't go into the engine and make any nests. We'll find out later. Brakes off, hopefully just a good roller. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Easy, no problem here. You just hop on and ride it up. I was worried if it was stuck, you were gonna be pulling the trailer over, having issues, but not gonna be a problem. Well, that went beyond smooth. So I'm gonna clean whatever's loose on here off, get all those parts, you know, like this underwear sitting on here. I don't want to be that blowing onto somebody's hood going down the road. I feel like, who's old whitey tighties? Get her chained down, and I'll see you guys over when we tear into it. Yes, right where I plopped her. Just waiting for a warm day to come, but it doesn't seem to be coming. We're above freezing right now, so this should be good. Look at all the salt on the tundra. Don't you guys just love the winter time? You people down in the south, you're lucky you don't have to deal with this. There's nothing like a rust hole in your truck just covered and packed with salt. And there's really no point in washing it off. It just, I mean, really, you're just actually making the corrosion take place quicker, because water is needed for that rust to take place. Now, let's see if this thing budges over and fires up. I'm excited. I want to hear it run. Recently took the tools from the back of the Tundra and put this little Husky box in here. Gotta still organize it a bunch, but also took the door panel off and got all this stuff kind of hung up on a chain a little neater. Ditched the passenger seat pad, still have it in the attic, but I'm finding this to be pretty nice. That way, if it's raining or something, or you're in a rush, you can just pop in here, grab what you need, and roll. Looks like that's our battery tray. Cables are in place. This takes a big old battery. Let's see what we got for oil. Ooh, kind of rusty on there, huh? And that could be just from like acidic oil eating away at it. Wait a second, motor oil causing rust? You know, when you think about that, it's like rub oil on any surface, any kind of oil or grease, and it's usually going to be an anti-corrosive. But I'm pretty sure with like motor oils, yeah, you get a bunch of acidic, corrosive acids that build up in it. I know it could definitely eat aluminum away, but I suppose, yeah, it can rust steel too, and that's exactly what that looks like. Well, let's identify some other components. This looks like the big old honking oil filter, canister style, on the side of the block. You got some oil galleys up in here, cast into the block. This is probably power steering, right? Yes, it was run over there. So that's pretty cool. It's got power steering. How about that? Yeah, I mean, there's a cylinder right in front of me. I wasn't even looking at it. We got a 2-wire generator with the tachometer cable driven off the shaft. I've never seen a tock driven off the generator because it's odd. You would think you switch out pulley sizes and that's going to change what you're indicating for RPM. Let's look inside the oil, see if I got moisture up here. Nope. Looks nice. You guys probably can't see very much. This is camera. Over on the right side, this must be our fuel pump, and I see it has a little mechanical primer. This is made by Sims, looks like. And this is a fuel filter. Let's see if we got anything in the bowl of this. I'll check for water sitting down on the bottom. Nothing. Might be clogged though. Give it a little poke. That bowl's completely empty. So our petcock, it's actually a ball valve, so I don't know what's on. I suppose that would be on. Line comes off, comes in the bottom of the pump, comes out into the filter, then over to the injection pump up top here, and then this little guy right there, that is the return. Okay, so simple enough. Yeah, you guys might be thinking, just throw a battery in it and start it. Yeah, could do that, but I like to try to familiarize myself a little bit with it, because especially since I just never worked on one of these, you know? I don't know. I'm seeing all sorts of things, like what's this little pedal? That's probably differential lock. Operates good. What's this lever? I don't know. It's inside of this tank. Sounds pretty empty. Yeah, bone dry, but wow, it's perfect condition. Oh, this has actually been coated. Okay, it's peeling up a little bit too. You guys probably can't see too well. Somebody hit this with a tank liner, and I could see it kind of peeling in a couple spots, but tank sounds great. Fill that up, see what it does. It's just clean on the inside, by the way. That's just dirt on the outside. In case I'm dumping dirt in the tank. You know, before I pour this in, we should probably see if the engine's free, right? Yeah. Looks like a 16 or 5/8. One and the same. Should be enough to budget if it's not locked up. Yes, there we go. All right, excellent. I'm gonna rotate this a couple times just in case we got any stuck valves or that kind of deal. I just, yeah, let's turn it by the fan here. Look at this design. It's got a pivot. Ah, I love it. That is ingenious. And see how it looks under here. Oh, nice and clean. See on the bottom of the cover too, quite a bit of condensation over the time. So let's rotate this over, see what we got moving. And check for valve clearances along the way. We have clearance on all the valves. Good to go. Trying to identify what this tractor is. Based on looks, I'm thinking like 60s, maybe 70s, I don't know. But these are supposed to have a number on the side here. It's all painted over. After a bunch of Googling, I have found this to be what I believe is a Ford 3000, made 65 to 75. And I did find the serial over here on the frame. It's a C243592, but I couldn't find the exact match online. So anyway, based on a bunch of part numbers I was looking up in pictures, that is what I believe it is. But my hands are frozen, so I'm gonna fire up the burn barrel, and I just cracked open ice cold soda pop, and just keep kind of going tonight, because it's going into the teens. The temps drop quick once that sun goes down. You guys know. Yes, it will get nice and toasty. Just spark up the cardboard in each of the 4 holes, and this baby is fired up immediately. It's actually a stainless steel wine barrel that I got many years ago. I've been having so many fires. It has a little bit of like patina rust, but you guys know you get like a year or 2 out of a burn barrel, and next thing you know, the bottoms are rotted out. Wine barrel, I forget what I paid for this. I think like 40 or 50 bucks. So it's an expensive barrel. It was used already, but it'll last hopefully an eternity. And now that it's raging, I can throw some junk wood and that's still wet. And I probably shouldn't have poured so much in because our petcock is leaking, but like that, it seems to be rebuildable. Just pull a clip out and or just wiggle it a few times. Get that O-ring saturated so it swells up. Might be all right. There we go. Let's see if feel's even coming down to this pump. Of course, that came off nice and easy because everything's coated in basil and oil. Yes, we do have diesel coming down here. Oh, looks like some milk was in there too, maybe. I have the drain off of here too. No, I mean, this pump's probably just bad then, because I was pumping this a bunch. And I don't have nothing coming into the filter. Might as well drain what we put inside this tank so we can fix this leak too, because it's dripping pretty good. This petcock is not a ball valve, it's just a threaded on piece, and I just threw a used O-ring and I think we can fix it with. Oh, that's why we're not getting any flow. It's full of crud. Okay. And this outlet was packed with some junk too, so clean that out, all this, and now I see this little one-way check valve operating. Let's put it back together and see, you know, do like a half just to clean out. The threads are kind of cheesed up on this though. I'll go real light together. There we go. Now we're getting some flow through this thing. And now we got it coming into the bottom of our filter, so we can cap this off. If I can find the cap. I'm scratching all around in the snow because I thought I remember putting on the tire, which is like the worst place you could put a plug. And then I found it packed down. You know, I had stepped and mashed it into the snow. Yeah, I start getting better about like keeping my parts organized when I take things apart. It's pretty bad sometimes. Let's cap off the bottom. Now I can clean off and remove the top bleed port, which should be this back one, because this guy is for changing the filter, which, you know, wouldn't be a bad idea to do either if I had one on hand. But at least we know the housing's not full of water. Or, I mean, it might be a little cruddy in there, I'm not sure. We'll get some fresh diesel in. Filter will do its filtering. Okay, so with that one loose, now I can keep pumping this till it comes out the top. A minute later, we got good flow, all the air out. Drop the battery in here, see what crank over sounds like. One repair on the positive, and this ground comes down, bolts to the engine block. You can see that got really hot, toasty at one point, burned through the insulation. Oh, and actually the positive did too. See how that's just open copper right there. It's rubbing a steel hose clamp, but that's it. Green neutral, no. And I didn't even notice it before, but we actually do have a key in the ignition. Forward. Let's see if it turns. Oh, look at that. Yeah, we got a wheel in there. Little floppy dipstick on a chain. It's cool. All right, here we go. Yeah! Oh man. Now this cable comes up to right here. That's gonna be our stop next to it. And then our throttle goes right there. All that's working good. Military choppers. The next big step is going to be seeing if we get some feel at these injectors up here. Because, you know, if not, there's no sense in shooting start fluid at this. So, crack each of them loose. We're just looking to loosen the nut up on each of them. And all these return hoses seem pretty good. Now we can crank it and see if we're getting the fuel up there through the pump. We got nothing. I'm starting to get a weird vibration too after I was cranking a while. I don't know what that is. So that could mean that these injector plungers or pistons are seized in place and you get moisture in there. But I suppose the next good idea would be just cracking these loose right here, see if we get anything. Well, why don't we actually pop off the pump inlet coming from the fuel filter and make sure we're getting anything from that pump, because just because the pump failed and the mechanical is working doesn't mean, you know, the override, this guy, is working, doesn't mean that the pump itself is working. Oh, I saw some orange stuff coming out of there, but all right, we have good gravity flow from the tank. Let's see what happens when we crank it. Oh yeah, we're getting excellent flow to this, but as you can see with these loose, nothing coming out of the high pressure side. Pistons, plungers, whatever they're called, I don't know. We got nothing coming out. So you guys know the next step. You can give this pump a little shock therapy with a piece of wood. And now let's crank it. You know, the only other thing would be is if this had a electronic solenoid, but it doesn't. It just has this mechanical shutdown. Basically, there's a cam in here and little pistons, and if they're stuck in their bore, then they're just not going to do anything. They're just going to be floating around in there. Now, at this point, the best move would be pulling the injector pump and disassemble, clean it all out, probably be good to go, or replace it with a rebuilt one. But I'm going to go ahead and apply a little heat to the edge of it. And it's really cold out, so we'll get things warmed up a little bit. Once you burn off all the diesel, it'll be a lot better as far as no flames going everywhere. There we go. That center one's starting to do something. I got the front and middle cylinder plungers injecting fuel. We're all good to fire on 2 cylinders because the old heat and beat technique did not bring the rear plunger to life. So we could try firing up on 2 cylinders and see if that vibration does it, or let's pop this cover off and see what that looks like in there. The proper thing is to disassemble this entire pump because even if you loosen these plungers up, it's like there's probably some crud in there that's floating around and could wreak other havoc, but Mad Max it is. You guys know how I roll. I'll just clean this cover up a little bit first, and that'll give us access to the springs. See what's going on when we crank it. Okay. It's cleaned and lubed. I don't know if you guys can get a look at it when I crank over. See the pistons coming up. I can't see this one when I'm having my finger on the trigger. Let's see if we can get that piston down. There it goes. We got it moving a little bit. All right, there we are. We got fuel coming out of this one. It's moving, it's free, it's good. I'll bleed up top and then we can fire this up. Probably gonna need some starting fluid though, because it is chilly. And put this cover back on too. You know, just for the record, heat and beat is like a last resort. Pulling that cover off is definitely the way to go, because then you can see what's going on. I should have done that to begin with. Lesson learned. Maybe, probably not actually. Should see some smoke now. This thing down. The other thing that can be done is we, drag it behind another vehicle, get the engine spinning enough, it'll fire up. Oh, I just noticed cranking over, look how much oil leaked from around that filter. Let's see if I just snug it down for now. That takes care of it. Get filter on order. And at least we know we got good oil flow. Okay, I am impressed. I love it. I couldn't get it in first or fourth for some reason, but I got it in second, reverse, and I guess that was fourth I was in. So that might, I'm not sure what's up with that, but next day I got a radiator that I think we can probably try and make work on here. Just gotta use a different hose. Let's see how it does on a cold start. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, I knew there was no glow plugs at all glancing at it, but I didn't realize it had this little intake heater that actually has a fuel line going to it too. So this little fuel block, this is the return back to the tank, but this is the return from the fuel filter housing. This is the return from the injectors, and then off the bottom of this little block, I guess it injects fuel maybe a little bit, and it gets that thing glowing red. No, I can't seem to get power over to it, but let's send 12 volt. Let's see if it still works. Because I did just do a cold crank with no heat or ether, and I mean, it's just, it doesn't want to go. Maybe if I throw the jump pack on it, but let's see what this thing does. And we'll hook her up here. See if we're getting any contact. Oh yeah, I see a little tiny voltage going through there, so let's see if this thing heats up and what it does. See that little heating? Oh yeah, there it goes. I don't want to overdo it. I'm just gonna hook this up real quick and crank it. So I don't know if any fuel is making it to that element or not, but with this jump pack on it, I'm surprised we haven't blown it. Heat in there. Oh, come on. Just gotta slide his belt off too for now, so we're not spinning that water pump again dry. Yes, I know I should have done that last night. It needed a starter fluid, that's it. Pretty good fit. Grabbed a couple used radiator hoses out of my collection. I especially love these long bendy ones because you can cut them and kind of make anything work. I mean, the next best thing would be one of those flex hoses, but of course, yeah, they cost money. These are free. Well, it ain't perfect, but a little baling wire and some zip ties later, we have a free solution, because this is a freebie, you know. I do have a little kink on that lower hose. I might have to cut that a little different, but otherwise good to go. Got some Texaco antifreeze here. This is straight, so I'll mix it with some water. Took just over 2 gallons. I didn't show you guys when I was beating on the side of this the other day. I did bust a little aluminum cover. I have it so I can fix it, but that is the rack is sticking out. I pushed that in. Nothing's leaking out of it, but you know, it's kind of cool to have access to the rack actually. Yeah. You can see every time these shut off, they go to the full fuel position. That's why when a diesel's been sitting a long time, it's a good idea to check if that rack is stuck, because otherwise it might start up and just go full throttle, and if it's stuck completely, then it won't fling back, you know. So we do have one small leak on this rad, but it's very small. This works good. I mean, it's on there pretty rock steady. Next thing to check is going to be our trans fluid and hydraulic oil. I was messing around with all the levers and I can't get the 3-point to come up. The lift cylinder does move, but I believe hydraulic fluid goes in here, and I was just looking at some pictures online. This is our fill check level, and then for the transmission right here. So it's still not going in first or third. Yeah, it just does verse, 2, and 4. I also noticed when it was running, oil was kind of coming out of this a little bit. So yeah, I'll just tighten that down, I guess. I don't know. This is probably like a flow control knob, which I tried messing with. Imagine for the 3-point. What? I can't believe that just came off with the adjustable. Okay, nothing's coming out this morning. Oh, that's loose too. Oh, all right, it wasn't that low. Coming out the port, that only took like about a quart. Let's just check this trans fluid real quick. Oh yeah, can't believe that plug's coming out too easily. All right, we got fluid in there, but it's actually milky. So we got water, a little bit of water in the transmission. And better than no oil, right? But yeah, that's gotta be drained and changed. Yeah, I don't know, can't get the 3-point working. The hydraulic pump is located over on the left side here. I was just reading online, there's a bleed port, this little Allen. So when these things sitting a long time, sometimes you gotta bleed them. Let's see what we can do there. If no flow comes out of this when I crank it over, then that means it's probably got a clogged screen, a bad pump, or I don't know. Now, I'm gonna just leave the plug loose and start it up, see what happens. So we got good flow from this plug, but I wouldn't say like, I don't know what the pressure is, but it doesn't have air in it. Well guys, it's Saturday evening and I'm gonna do the right thing, go for a little drive to the store in this. You know, it's really good for it, can't lift anything behind it, needs some repair. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the tack plastic needle broke off because the cable, that really should have been disconnected before starting it. The cables get the grease gets all thick, but yeah, I'm actually excited to go for a little drive down the road. I mean, this is it's a real nostalgic feel cruising around in this. I like it. We're maxed out in second. Let's go to fourth. Oh, yeah! This thing rips in fourth, baby. Yeah, we can get up on the grass too. Why not? This thing feels so dangerous. Wheels next to you, fall off, you just die, you're getting ran over. Nothing like ripping a tractor down the street. We got a couple miles to go. All right, made it over to destination. I got a little tractor out front too. Fits right in place. How do these brakes work? They work a little bit. How about it? Okay. Go in, get herself a sandwich. Police are gonna pull up and be like, who drove this here? Would you see me pull up in a tractor and say, who's this guy?
What the hell is this? And then it hit me. I was like, I know who it is.
Yeah. I just got this whole thing running. Figured I'd go for a little drive.
That was pretty nice.
Get a sandwich.
Seat, though. Holy
yeah, it was pretty rough, especially with the flat spots on these. Hey Charlie, what are you doing? Huh? Just hanging out, your farm dog? Yeah.
I got two All-Stromers WDs, the 60's. We ran them so much, and it's just getting to the point that like you can't get parts for them no more.
Yeah.
Every week I'm spending an hour or two working on them. I just can't do it no more.
All right, well, yeah, I want to grab my sandwich.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. See you, Charlie. Let's get a turkey club. You know, do a small broccoli cheddar soup too. Look at this turkey club. Thing is great. Oh yeah. Nothing like some hot soup and a turkey club. Turkey club's always how I gauge a deli. Like if they make fresh bacon and just stack it, then pretty much everything else they make is going to be good too. Nice sunset cruise back home. We'll take the back way home, seeing the ground, slow and steady. Right. The old girl did good. So yeah, the transmission's locked out in those gears. But Tim over there in a Kubota mentioned a pretty good idea. He's like, dude, just get one of those 3-point generators for this, and you can just fire it up whenever you need power. It moves around. It's good for that, It's good for a lot of things. But probably not worth dumping a ton of money into, because you can go on Marketplace and pick a nice one of these units up, like a Ford 3000 or similar. Around $5K, I see it. You get one with a front loader. I've seen them as cheap as $3,000. A little rougher, but like nice, good unit, $5-6K. Well, by the time you fix all the issues and make this thing pretty, because boy, is it ugly. Then it's like with your labor, you should have just bought something nicer. But it's a good runner. Well, the fuel filter, oil filter just came in. Can't just run to the parts store to get these. Had to order them online. I mean, maybe out in Kansas or Iowa they might stock these, but not around here. See how nasty this thing is inside. Oh. Says steel part on the bottoms. It's reusable. Got some crud down there, but not that filthy. Yeah, this thing's cruddy, but not the worst I've seen. So, this will be happy with new filter on. I'm gonna slap some new O-rings in that came with the filter. And they actually do sell complete new housings, like updated ones that have clear, so you can see if there's water that gets in there. But I figured keep it all original. Plus, this thing was cheap enough. It was only like, you know, under 10 bucks for a filter. Not a bad idea to turn the fuel off when you do this, too. And that petcock is so sticky, I don't want to mess with it. And then same thing as before to bleed this, but actually you don't even really need to pump it. You can just let it gravity bleed. It'll make its way. Air will come out since we got fuel in the tank. But if you want to speed it up, use this. There we go. And actually before, when I was working this, I was going like this. There's no reason to do full strokes. You just fold it up and then just rock it with your thumb. So there's some guys watching this video that know these, and they can see me doing all the wrong techniques. Seems like when it's cold, it's only running 2 cylinders, and then I hear the third one kicking in. So I'll let it warm up for a little bit and then change the oil. And just a little worn out. I mean, it's what it is. 15 minutes later, that'll do it. Big old drain plug on here. Yeah, just giving this whole tractor a little love. Oh yeah. Black gold. This oil's really really thin actually. Like it's not that hot. It's almost like someone put hydraulic oil in this thing. Thicker new oil, that'll boost up the compression a little bit. Oh wow, look at that. Whew. I mean, I didn't cut the fuel filter open, but this thing is just disgusting. It's completely, you know, you see now that there's like usually a paper element or on the outside. It's completely deteriorated away. Yeah, sorry for running it the way I did. Maybe, you know, it was fine. It's as long as it's getting flow, it's all good. You know, obviously this thing was running a long time with all that junk in there. Well, that's the beauty of these old machines, is they don't really care for the most part. They'll just keep on going. It definitely warms my heart to replace that though and change the oil because it desperately needed it. I got half of it shiny, but could really use a sandblaster for the rest of it 'cause it's all rusty on half. Of course on the outside too, but good enough. Well, filter's the right length. Oh, it's not the right filter. Look at that. One that has a concave side. Well, I ain't putting this back in there. And there's no inner sleeve in here, so I wonder... After beating it in some, I think I can get this on there. And I hate to hack it up like this, but I got a guy coming Saturday wants to buy this. He restores these old things, has a bunch of them, and either wants to restore this or use it for parts. So I'll have to tell him about this. It's still better than what was in there, I guess, but yeah, that'll do it. Scrunch it down. Got this top shelf AMSOIL sitting around, 1540 premium heavy duty diesel and marine oil. I use it on this, why not? Not sure what this takes, probably like 4 quarts or something, I would imagine. Whoa. And that took all that and then some, probably closer to 2 gallons. Get it up to level. So I've got this up on Marketplace for a very fair $800. I think it's fair anyway. You're getting a lot for that, especially if you need parts for one of these machines. Again, got a guy coming Saturday. I'll let you know down in the description if it sells and what it sells for. Otherwise, let's jump to some other stuff now. Random example of some of the things I waste my time doing. So, problem is I have a 3-inch PVC sewage vent up on the roof and it has no cap. So it has a bunch of leaves we're getting down in there and I think a bird could go in. So they sell plastic caps you could get, they're cheap enough. And I was like, oh, I want something that's stainless steel. I saw this on Amazon. I was like, cheap enough, made in Taiwan, it works. But then I was like, no, I kind of want something a little bit better. So I went into my scrap pile, broke out this old cooling water mesh screen that's stainless steel, and it's really, really thick. But I have a piece of 4-inch exhaust pipe, an old bearing race, and a plate behind it. I'm going to see if we heat this, if we can maybe crush that and form a good cap. It might just end up bending this because that's kind of thin. But as you guys know, stainless is pretty darn hard to bend, so definitely going to have to use some heat here. Ooh, a little toasty there. Ugh. So the idea is to get the whole thing kind of hot, and then we'll crank on it. Yeah, it's working good, but I'd like to go a little bit further. It's just bending the pipe. There you go. Much heavier duty. See, I like to make stuff that one day when I'm long gone, somebody goes up on that roof, pulls this off, and they say, man, that looks homemade. Like, you're not going to trash this if you find this on a demo job. Well, some guys might, but see how it fits the 3-inch. Oh, well, it could be a tighter fit. I can just bend all the ends in a little bit, and then it'll just be a snug press fit on there. Grabber. It'd be nice if it grabs the 3-inch pipe without anything else. It's certainly sharp enough to grab it. Let's see what that did. Maybe too much. No. Perfect. That. Locked on. Love it. Yes. Let's snap this into place. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Can't even pull it up if I wanted to. Gotta love it. I got the easy baby to take care of. Nap time. And the easy dog too. Nap time in the sun. Don't let me bother you. Go back to bed.